Hey y'all, welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. Yes. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Toolizz for you, TOOLIZZFORYOU.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry. And I've been posting on Instagram this week as Knitting in Our Jeans. I think I posted twice.
I think so.
Which is a lot.
It is. So, 1 minute health update. None of us are infected here in the house.
We haven't left the house.
Well, I have. I've gone back to my own apartment and just
stayed
back here.
There.
Yeah. I have not gone into the office.
She did get in the car. She didn't walk.
I did.
So it's been pretty much a bubble.
And
my mother has not left the apartment to go get her hair done yet.
Which is good.
Yes.
We're very proud of her for that.
We are.
But yeah, so we are under a just a essentially non-essential personnel limits of 10 people here in New York.
Well, New York City.
New York City.
Is it state?
I think it's state.
I think it may be state now, yes.
So that's just what we're dealing with. My construction site is still open as it is considered essential. All construction is considered essential work right now. So we're playing it by ear day by day.
So she's been able to work out of the apartment.
Yeah, we might start, if I have to go in to work, we might be doing these. Maybe we try Google Hangouts and
we'll figure something out.
Or lives or something, but I just wanted to give you an update.
How do we record that?
We'll
figure it out.
I know how to do it, so we'll figure it out.
That's good.
I know. I still have to teach. So we have been having hangouts with friends over FaceTime and
we've just
Google Hangouts. I have to show you how to set it up. Do you want it on the computer or do you want it on the iPad?
I want it on the iPad.
Okay. I'll show you that to you before I go home tonight. And actually, a friend of mine had her 30th birthday party over Google Hangouts last night, which was a lot of fun. I ended up coming here for it. And so my parents participated a little, which was also very fun because my friends all really love my parents. So
we were those substitute parents at college. So we take them out to dinner enough, we do become these substitute parents.
I mean, how many times has Dad grumbled about having to go to, another wedding?
He doesn't understand why he's so fascinating.
No.
So, speaking of dealing with restrictions, I got up at 5 o'clock this morning to get to the grocery store at 6.
I had a flashback of being back in college when Mom would get up and go to work at this time.
Right. I mean, I have to say that was my work time getting up was 5 a.m. and I'd be out of the house at 5:30.
So I heard Mom, around the hallway and stuff, and I was like, something's wrong. Where's the radio? The radio's not... Why isn't the radio on? And then I was like, okay, we're not in college anymore. Mom is not going to work. Mom is going to the grocery store.
Right. And I got there, and there were 9 other people and me at 6 o'clock. So in terms of distancing, plenty of distance. The shelves were some part empty, but not denuded by any means. I mean, I wanted to get Advil caplets, and instead I got the orange Advil. Big deal. My husband's yogurt that he likes, the flavor that he wanted, blueberry, wasn't there, so I got him raspberry.
At which point, when she came home, he said, well, we all have to make sacrifices in these times, to which I just was like, that's not a sacrifice, sir, but okay. And
normally we have Cascade to put in the dishwasher. They didn't have any Cascade of any description, so I got something else. Again, it's not a tragedy by any means. I managed to find a ginormous bag of rice, which is the size we normally get, and it lasts us for months.
Yeah.
Because we eat rice just about every night. My husband does not like potatoes, so...
Which I don't understand.
I don't either. And I meant to have potatoes tonight, because it would go well with the gravy.
It would have gone well, yeah.
But I got out of the store and went, oh, new potatoes. So, if I remember next time, or maybe I'll go out in the morning and get new potatoes. Not making any promises. 5 a.m. was really early. I'm not used to that anymore. Mm-hmm. But... there wasn't really many people who came in after us at 6 a.m. So the 10 of us had the store to ourselves. I was able to get chicken.
Were you? I thought you said you
I got chicken, and I got turkey legs.
And they were giant. Those turkey legs.
Well, turkey legs are turkey legs. We may be able to eat one together. That kind of thing. So I was able to get 2 or 3 packages of chicken. I was able to get 2 packages of turkey legs. And then I picked up some fish. Got another can of crab meat. And there were plenty of cans of crab meat. I think I mentioned that 2 weeks ago I made crab cakes from scratch and they were delicious.
They were pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, so I buy some canned crab. I did forget to buy the canned little tiny clams for clam sauce. Next time I'll put it on I didn't put it on the list. It didn't make it. But I did get the last bits that I needed to make the lamb that we had today. It was a Mary Berry recipe. And it makes up in less than 25 minutes. I had already bought the lamb 3 weeks ago, frozen, from an online store, D'Artagnan, and I had never dealt with them before. I had looked around at the inventories of our local supermarkets 3 weeks ago, and none of them had loin of lamb. And D'Artagnan had it. So I bought it, and we had it today, and it was very good. It was really good.
We did have a lot of it, so I'm going to be taking some home for this week.
I mean, I got the smallest amount I could buy, which was 4 pieces, but they're very large pieces. And so we'll be eating off of this for at least 2 more meals, and she's taking a big piece home. But it turned out really good. So, I was able to pick up the beef stock and a few other things. So there's some things that if you really cook a lot from scratch, you're gonna be fine in the grocery store. A lot of the things that were missing were the easy cooking things. I didn't look at the frozen dinner section because we've got all that we need. I mean,
I meant to have you look at the pizzas because I don't have any.
Well, you can take one of mine.
All right.
I didn't even go down that aisle because I know we have, normally I keep 4 pizzas in the refrigerator at any given time because that's what we work with. So I have 4, so she can have 1 and then we're fine. So basically I found the grocery store to be fine. Now I live in Nassau County. And Rachel, I drove up to the Stop and Shop in Port Washington because I knew that what I wanted in terms of what I wanted was more likely to be found in Port Washington than in our store here. And so, because I also picked up some beef. The last time I went grocery shopping was 2 weeks ago. So this was in my head.
Well, as we spoke about last week, now you don't tend to shop as much in 2 week segments, but I typically shop in 2 week segments because that's what we did.
Normally do 1 week segments, but we've decided to try to go only 2 weeks to limit our availability to germs. So it was except for the 5 a.m. wake up call, it was a fun experience. So, I have to tell you something funny. When I called yesterday to make sure they were doing 6 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, I spoke to someone at the store in Port Washington, and I said, well, what? She goes, we're open from 7:30 to 8. I said, okay, are you running any special hours for seniors? Yes, that's from 6 to 7:30, but you have to be 60. I said, well, thank you very much. I think you just paid me a tremendous compliment, but I'm 66, so it'll be fine. She's, oh, yeah, sure, it'll be great. And as I said, it was a very easy experience. So I'm hoping that that's true for most people. But I can tell this Stop and Shop is doing that. So that's my update. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing the Ginkgo.
Yes.
Which I do need to put the little strappies on. Maybe that'll be something I do this week.
That's a good idea, to keep it on your shoulders.
Yeah.
What am I wearing? I want to call it window panes, but I don't think that's it.
It's she did the Amber's cowl. She is.
I should have looked it up, but as I said, we just finished dinner and I was the chief cook. Although I had help from Elizabeth here.
Hold on, let me look. She also does ply.
This was part of a kit that I got from Neighborhood Fiber Company.
It's an Ann Weaver.
It's an Ann Weaver. And what they were doing was a sweater in a box. And you signed up for a year. they would send you the sweater in the box, one every 3 months. So there were 4 sweaters in a year. And just before, in the month before they were going to send your box out, they would send the people who had signed up a photo of the pattern. And then you could pick any of their colors to make your sweater from. So basically, at that time, I didn't have all of this. It was really when I was just starting out knitting again. And
but you knew you only wanted sweaters. So.
That's right. I knew I was primarily a sweater person. You know, obviously I knit socks. We're doing a class, if they let us, in October. I'm hoping that will still run in the city for New York knitting. The New York Woodbrook. I knew it was a W. Woodbrook by Ann Weaver.
And this is from 2015.
Yes. It was a really good experience for me, except that I found that there were so many other things I wanted to make that I often didn't make the sweater in the box before months passed. And that was one of the reasons why I didn't continue the subscription. Anyway, what do you want to talk about?
So did we get anything in the mail this week?
I got books.
Okay, let's talk about those books.
So these are books that I had gotten with a certificate from Vogue Knitting. With the package of tickets that I bought from Vogue Knitting, I got a coupon to spend on books. So this is Knitting Ephemera by Carol J. Sulkowski. And it's just little facts and figures that knitting burns 102 calories per hour, or that November is National Knit a Sweater Month.
That I did know.
Or that there are more sheep than people in New Zealand, Australia, and Iceland.
I knew the first two. I didn't know about Iceland.
Yes.
Not shocked, though.
We call it crochet, perhaps derived from the French words croc or croche, meaning little hook.
Oh.
Yes. So anyway, I'm going to have fun kind of putting this by the bedside table and picking up at different times. This, I think, is adorable. Create a cuddly creature.
From a square.
Yeah. I mean...
Well, it's called Knit a Square.
Look at this.
Yeah.
So, now that we have a grandniece, I can have fun. Look at that. Hedgehog. Look at that hedgehog.
I love that hedgehog.
Look at this. This is a potpourri of different animals. There's a wall. No, that's a daisy quilted cat. She's upside down. A beaded cat, a Fair Isle cat,
They're
and
all
a seed
kitties.
yes, seed stitch hat.
Cat.
Sorry, cat. And then there's a turtle. Turtle. So, I think this book is just going to be fab. Then this is Design It, Knit It Babies by Debbie Bliss. And you can see the patterns that they have on the front. They're included in the book. And then she goes on to talk about how you can design your own patterns for babies. So I think this is... They have some discussion about colors and what goes together, contrast, etc. But look at that. Is that not an adorable cardigan? And as Elizabeth knows, sometimes babies have big heads.
Yes.
Yes.
My freshman year roommate, the one I was making the baby sweater for, I reached out to her just to try and find out how big her son is now. He's about 6 months old. Apparently he's wearing size 9 months, so I ripped out that sweater because it would have been too small.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to decide what I'm going to knit him, instead. But it was very funny because I was asking her, would she prefer a pullover or a cardigan or not a sweater at all? And she was saying, well, he has a very big head, so a cardigan.
Cardigan it is.
So,
then this is Modern Country Knits, and I got 2 of them, so Elizabeth has one. But look, oops, that's not the best picture. Of course, I can't now separate the pages.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's right. It's called Summerdale Dress, and for those of you who know me, I love knitted dresses.
You really do.
I really do. Sweaters and dresses. Nothing easy.
No.
So, some really nice patterns in this. So that's nice. And then this is Custom Couture. This is actually sewing. I have gotten that big ticket for Vogue so many times that I'm running out of Vogue books to buy. They're all over there. So this was on From Your Closet to the Fashion Runway, things that you can do to your sewing to jazz it up. I thought it was cute. And then here's Classic Kicks for Little Feet. So this is a book of booties.
So we think the grandniece is going to get a lot of little booties.
A lot of little booties. There's one that looks like sandals in here. I'm just having a cow over the whole thing. Look at this. I think they're adorable. So I can go to town. So those are the books I got in the mail. What did you get in the mail?
So a lot of the shops in New York have closed due to the new regulations.
Mm-hmm.
And though most shop owners are in the shops doing virtual appointments to help people pick out yarn or other things from their shops. And Brooklyn General posted that they had these little kits for Sashiko mending, which is a Japanese mending technique for denim.
Oh, interesting.
And so I grabbed one of those, and then I was looking, and I was already looking to order some lotion, because if you're washing your hands as much as I've been, you're running out of lotion, because I have this much left of my one Lolo bar, and then I have a full little mini one, so I ended up getting a Love and Leche unscented as well, which is this one.
Quite a nice little kit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unscented.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm very excited about that.
Speaking of, I'll put this on.
And I was able, to help them. I don't need any yarn really right now. And so we're, I'm thinking and seeing what's happening with everything else going on. But yes, if you are able to, we will again post the link to the Knitty blog, which shows all of the different events that were canceled. So it'll link you to the different vendors that were supposed to be at the different events. This weekend was Homespun House Party or something like that, the Homespun Party, which is in the Maryland area, I think. And they actually have been digital and having like a live streamed event instead all weekend.
Interesting.
So definitely check them out. Support your local yarn shop as much as you can. Because this is going to be a tough time for everyone.
Yes.
But also do not go outside of your means as of this point,
No,
because we don't know
not.
what's going to be happening.
I mean, I'm really lucky in that I'm teaching and my class was set up to be online, and in fact after this post today I'm going to have to be grading essays a lot of the night, and then into tomorrow morning too, because the last of them are due tonight. So my class, sorry, got an itch on my lip. My class was set up to be online,
right?
So very lucky, and the students who signed up for my class knew it was going to be online. So that's great. Mine is just continuing on. And then I'm mostly retired. So the only thing I gave up was physical therapy, and I'm doing those exercises at home. So that's fine. And we're taking walks down at Jones Beach on the boardwalk, easy to keep a minimal distance now because there's not that many people out and about. And if we get out before lunchtime, there's almost nobody. And then if we want to go further afield, there's Fort Salonga. So there's on Long Island, we're very lucky that there's a number of beaches that you can go and walk on. So that works out pretty well. And I don't have to worry about, is someone going to cut my income, because they want me to teach the class, and then, Uncle Sam's going to pay the Social Security. So we're actually doing quite well. I'm believe me, we feel for anybody who has been furloughed or let go, and there's a whole army of people that have. So we hear you. I can't say we feel the pain, because at the moment we're lucky. I'm as employed as I want to be, and you're fully employed. So
yes.
Anyway, let me say, so one of our friends has a cousin who is a vet.
Yes.
And she had mentioned that if she got cloth face masks, she would donate her one-use disposable face mask to the state. So,
or local hospital, however she felt.
The cousin, our friend, forwarded, or somebody forwarded me, maybe it was you, a pattern for
fabric face mask.
This is muslin. I have a ton of muslin.
Which is good because these will probably end up being bleached quite often.
Yes.
If you are making them, just keep that in mind.
I made the pattern. We should be able to put a link to it since it's in my messages. The only thing I'm not happy about is the way they have you make it. Now, this is a double layer, but she has you sew it together so it acts as one layer, and I'm not happy with these two little darts with raw edges on the inside. Now, I overcast them, so they're not really raw, but what I'm thinking of doing tomorrow is making up one and then cutting one side really short and then folding the excess on the other side over and hand stitching it down so that it's basically a flat felled seam, and I think I'm going to feel a lot better about that. But I have made one, and there's 7 to go. So that is the plan there. So I didn't get as much knitting done because I did some of this on the machine, but a lot of it by hand, just because I wanted to really understand how it was put together and where there are possibilities for improving it. And I came up with that idea of doing that flat felled seam over the darts. So that has been keeping me busy. But I will show you how much I've done on my sweater, which is a lot, actually. I have gone up as far. I have finished off the top of the bodice, and the back is higher than the front. It is a little higher than I thought it was going to be, honestly. I think if I were to do a pattern like this again, and I don't think I'd do this pattern again, I would drop it down on each side by about 1/2 inch.
I just realized, though, this is cotton.
Yes.
It's going to grow.
Yes, it may grow because it certainly hasn't seen any water.
Yeah.
I can get it fits now. I can get my head through it. And since we've raised the possibility of not going sailing this summer because the boatyard closed on Friday and they don't know when they're reopening again. And I said, so maybe we won't go sailing. And I thought my husband would go through the roof.
I legitimately have never seen Dad this, like... Vehement about different situations, that are out of his control. It was...
I was talking about getting tomato plants. He goes,
oh my God.
How could you do that? We're going to be gone.
He was very upset about the idea of tomato plants. Tomato plants apparently make him very upset.
Yes. So anyway, I had finished the up. I then came around and took out my,
your waist
temporary,
provisional cast on?
Provisional cast on. I'm losing words right and left. And then I have gone down. So my provisional cast on was actually right about here, so 1 inch down from the armhole. So I have then gone down. So I've gone up and done this much, and then I have gone down. And so I have this and another ball is all to do. And then, of course, I have my sleeves already done, and I have the bottom hem edging done. So this is easily finished this week. And then when I was really getting bored and tired of the Red Hot, I went to the Etude. And what I like about the Etude pattern is it's different every row.
Oh, nice. Really? You're enjoying that?
I am enjoying it because and it's well written.
Okay.
The Etude pattern is very well written. So it's top down. And I am just thrilled with it.
Good.
So this is going really well. I think my plan now is to do some of the other sweaters that are downstairs, but try to clear off my desk with projects, and then we'll attempt other things. Yeah, to try to have a clear desk. That would be amazing.
It really would be.
It would be. So what are you working on?
So I just picked up the sleeves of my Ease. Yes.
Right.
Yes, I did say I just picked up the sleeves, which means the entire body is done.
Look at
the
that.
entire body. I also did the collar. I did the drawstring collar. Unfortunately, it is turning over. I kind of like the look of it though. It's still pretty finished and I like the edge it gives. It's just going to be a kind of a funnel, you know, cowly collar. And I'm really enjoying it. It fits. So now we just have sleeves to go. So I might have finished a whip in 2 weeks, which will be really nice. But I also have swatched for my Vellichor by Andrea Mowry.
Oh, look at that.
And she's having a Andrea Mowry sweater knit along happening in her group. So I did swatch for it. So I figure I can cast that on. I have a few more stitches per inch than is for gauge. So I'm actually going to go up a needle size, which will be really nice because this is on 3s. And
that'll be nice on a 4.
On a 4, it'll be a little bit easier to work with my hands as well. So yeah, so that's kind of what I've been working on. But yeah, so that's out of Zen. This is out of Zen on from Nerd Girl.
Nice.
And it's a yak or a 60% merino, 20% yak, 20% silk, and I threw it through the washer and dryer, and it survived. So I'm very excited about that.
Great.
And then I had a church organizational meeting call this week. So I got a few rows done, but not too much significant progress on my nebbia, but
I love
just to show you that that it did get worked on. The other thing I wanted to talk about actually was funny because that meeting was on St. Patrick's Day, on Tuesday, and I love the Dropkick Murphys, and I've loved them since high school.
Yes.
Mom knows I've loved them since high school, and they always do a hometown show in Boston on St. Patrick's Day. And as a native New Yorker, I will never, ever go to that
Boston,
show.
Yeah.
Because it's Boston on St. Patrick's Day. I'm just not doing it to myself. But they live streamed it. And so I got to see the Dropkick Murphys do their hometown show thanks to the technology that they were using. And
there was no audience.
No, there wasn't. They had the crew there. They were still under, the regulations.
Right.
It was
set for Boston.
So great. It was, and I just kept on texting my friends saying the next time they're in town, we're seeing them. I don't care. Because the last time they were in town and I could have seen them, it was one of my good friends' bachelorette weekends. Ooh. And we were in South Jersey. So we couldn't make it. I was very upset by that. But yeah, it was so great. Broadway, the Actors Fund is doing a live stream kind of interview and musical show, with guests, at 2 o'clock and 8 o'clock, I think, every day. I don't know if it's on weekends as well, but that's on YouTube. There's also, I know on Instagram, Dnice, DJ Dnice, is doing live streams from his kitchen essentially, and I didn't get to tune in the last few days, and I only found out about it last night, or this morning I think, and so he started it earlier today, and I was playing it while we were kind of getting ready at the end of dinner, and Dad was very confused by it, but Mom was enjoying it just as well with me.
Yeah.
But a lot of musicians are doing digital acts.
Yes.
And some are ticketed, but I mean, it's $5-10, which I think is good, because they still have to pay for the technology. Just a thought. But all this free stuff that's happening is just great. Also, the Metropolitan Opera is broadcasting a different opera every day this week. I don't know if it's continuing on to next week, but it was last week and this week, at least scheduled so far.
We will have to check that out.
But yeah, definitely look up your favorite artists. They might be doing something.
Absolutely.
Because we're all trying to stay in. And so that's really cool. Also, be aware that some movies will be released either video on demand or on different platforms with the closures that have been happening. I know Universal is putting out their movies for like a rental fee of like $20, but if you like, if I were to come home and watch them, there are 3 of us. If tickets are, what, $12, $10, $12,
Yeah.
that's $30 for us to go to the movies.
Versus
$20 to get the movie at home. So, not bad. The one I am looking forward to actually is Onward. It's a Disney one.
Oh,
and that if you have Disney Plus, it'll come to Disney Plus on the 3rd of April.
Oh, nice.
So you don't have to do the video on demand unless you have kids who very much want to see it right when it's available. But that's just a few things I wanted to, there are obviously knitting podcasts and, videos you can watch and stuff like that. But just if you need that, or if you're looking for that kind of live experience, it's good to know that those are out there.
Show? Which Jimmy is that? It's
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon is doing the Tonight Show
from home.
And his daughter, Winnie, loves to interrupt him when he's doing an interview or something that's being taped live. She is a riot. And he takes these interruptions so well. So if you want to see a little bit of kid humor on your regular late night television, check out the Tonight Show. In addition, Ravelry, if you go to patterns that are free for a limited time, there are a fair number of designers that are putting out patterns for until the end of March. Some are going into April, realizing that, we're looking to shelter at home and maybe you're looking for some new patterns.
Yeah.
So I try to go on every day to see what new patterns are there. And of course, I'm looking for basically sock patterns and sweater patterns type of thing. Cowls.
Yeah, definitely take a look.
Check that out.
I know a bunch of dyers are either having discounts or they're donating some of their proceeds to different relief funds for those who need it. But yeah, so just check out all the different things. I thought I'd bring it up now because I have watched a few things while knitting to keep me going. Because I don't like to watch the news. We've gone over this before in previous years.
We'll watch Andrew Cuomo, our governor.
Mm-hmm.
He is full of facts and figures and, exactly what's going on and what he's going to do about it and what we need to do next. I like watching Bill de Blasio. Yeah. He's been laying out facts.
The New York local governments have been having very informative press conferences.
What you need to do. What are the hours of the grocery stores? What I need to know about the limits on our daily lives. They've been very good at laying out, and I've been very appreciative of that.
Yeah. So just take it in stride. It is a tough time. If you can't handle looking at the news, don't do it. I know I have gotten overwhelmed once or twice in the last 2 weeks just with everything happening. I have actually stopped listening to my morning podcasts because there's no alternative news.
Right. In
terms of not alternative, but it's all about this all the time. Whereas on before all of this happened, before this outbreak occurred in the U.S., it was, what is this happening around the world? Then local issues, and then, what's happening in the campaigns, and that's kind of fallen to the wayside right now, which I'm perfectly fine with because we need to deal with the public health crisis first. But the fact that it's one topic and all 3 of my podcasts are really just doing it, I have tried to listen to one of them, at least one of them a day. Unfortunately, the New York Times one is the one that has fallen by the wayside because they are very informative, but they are the longer one. Yeah. So just if you're...
I'm getting a morning update in my email from the New York Times every morning, and I signed up for text messages from New York City. So if you text COVID, COVID, to 692-692, you're put on a text message list so that you can get updates from New York City. We're so close to New York City that often what goes on, the limitations that are being put on daily life in New York City have a great deal of meaning for us here in Nassau County. So I did that with a purpose. The only thing I don't like is when I actually managed to sleep in late and my watch wakes me up with the text message from good old Mayor de Blasio. But other than that, so I'm a news hound, and but I guess I'm not anxious about this because I don't have to go into work.
No.
And I wouldn't be going into work anyway because colleges are shut down, and they're going to be doing this online. So my level of anxiety is different than yours because I don't have a forced place where I have can decide.
I'm mostly worried about I have coworkers who are going in. I have, we have a construction site, so we have a labor force on site daily, and so I am a bit concerned about them. Yes, they're not my employees directly, but I still feel for them.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. But I don't know. I feel like sometimes you need to hear it from someone else that it's okay.
Not to
listen to the news when something like this happens. It's okay.
Try to find your comfort level, I think is what we're saying.
Or if you have a friend who's like Mom and is a news hound, if you want to text them and be like, hey, can you give me like a 2 or 3, bullet point update?
Yeah.
Do that. I have my friend Tanya, she is also a news hound. And so she knows not to inundate me with things, but she's like, oh, this is what was said.
I mean, I want to know if they decided to like right now, New York City has a 24-hour subway system. What they've been talking about is shutting it down for several hours every night so they can really do an effective cleaning. Well, not that I'm going to, obviously Broadway's shut, so I'm not going to be going into the city and using the subway. But I'd just like to know that they've decided to shut it down between, 1:30 a.m. and 3:30 a.m., whatever. So I just want to know some facts.
But we're just letting you know that if you needed someone to tell you that it's okay to unplug and to
take a deep
breath, you're allowed to.
Because, this is a lot to deal with.
Yes.
My mother can remember her mother talking about the flu pandemic of 1918. She's, is that
colloquially known as the Spanish flu?
Yes, it is. So, Mom was born in 1928, so has no memory of this. And she's like, I can't remember when things were this bad. And I decided to try to pull her off the ceiling and said, well, we did have the pandemic of 1918, and you're here because your mother lived. She says, my mom kept talking about that. I can remember when I was a kid, she would bring it up, and I said, well, I think she was dealing with just like this, only they had to go into work. Mm-hmm. My grandmother was an RN. So
she would have been essential.
She was essential personnel, so she went into work.
Yeah.
And she had 4 kids. Not at that time, but it's some of those things. Mm-hmm. In fact, at that point, I don't think she had any children.
I was going to say, Paul wasn't 10 years older than
wasn't. But still, there's a lot, and you're concerned about your family and all that. So anyway, we've had something similar, but not in our lifetime.
Yeah. So.
Not in the lifetime of anybody I know. My mom's 92. So in the paper today, they had 2 ladies in Newsday who had been alive. One had been 7 and one had been 5. And so it was their memories of when they were children. She says, I can remember the adults talking about it. And I can remember... we couldn't go over to somebody's house. Mm-hmm. So, we will get through this.
Yes.
Absolutely.
One thing I forgot to tell you all that
this is right.
So I haven't unwrapped it yet, but my boyfriend for my birthday got us a sign for the podcast, auspiciously for the door. I think it might be cute to hang it here.
Oh, I like that idea.
And get an extension cord so we can have it lit up because it lights up.
There is a plug back there that we cut out the back.
It does light up. It lights up in red, and it says On Air Mic Live.
Yes.
And I thought it was super cute.
I love it.
And
I love it.
Yeah, so that was really sweet. And that it finally came. Of no fault of his own, it was coming from overseas. So
they had a few problems.
Yeah. So I guess we have time. I mean, we've only been talking for 40 minutes. Do you want it?
We could stop this, and then we could just do one of the other.
So what we're alluding to is the fact that Mom won Grand...
I got a phone call on Monday last week, so almost a week ago, from not the
Knitting Cove?
Knitting Cove, yes. The store that's out in Port Jeff, from Tony, and she said, you won first prize. And since I didn't know that there was a first prize, I had no idea what she was talking about. So I said, okay.
For the Long Island Yarn Crawl.
For the Long Island Yarn Crawl. Well, no, we can do it now. And so I said, okay. And of course, my husband's getting nervous. And she said, well, the shop opens at 11. And I said, all right. And her husband said, you're not going out there. I said, I'll be fine. I'll be there right when they open. And I'll go pick this thing up. And who knows what it is. He said, well, they could just send it. I said, I don't think so. So Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day, I drove out. And it wasn't first prize. It was the grand prize.
So what you can't see is the bag that's on the ground.
All right. So
if you want to pick that up.
I will. So this was all that was in plastic. This has been sitting in isolation since Tuesday with the saran over it so that the germs could die over in the corner. So isn't this amazing? This is Coco Knits. What they did is they sent away to the producers, the manufacturers, and these were donated by the manufacturers.
By the sponsors of the Yarn Crawl.
Yes. This is Knitter's Blocks by Coco Knits.
And it's got T-pins, and it's got instructions, and it's got the blocking boards.
Blocking boards. And the T-pins...
The T-pins are on one of the side pockets.
All right, this is a gauge cloth. Marked off in inches. I can't.
Side pocket. It's on the other. Ow! Shoot, my ring came off in the pocket.
Okay. T-pins. Yes. So very nice. I was in shock.
I was too.
And of course, Rich is making fun of me, like more knitting things coming into the house.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to start here because I can reach it. These are AddiOlivewood Clicks. And it, let's see, does it say the size? It says they're made in Germany. Yeah, from 4 to 11.
Nice.
Yes, and there's one each of a 24, 32, and 40-inch nylon cable. So, wooden needles. Fantastic. Then there are Chiaogoo twists. And this is the small. So this is the US 2, 2.75 millimeter to US 8. Lovely. These are metal.
Mm-hmm. You already have a set of Chiaogoos, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Nice. So I might get to try these.
You might. Whoa.
Oh.
And then a set of
Lykke. Longs.
So these are bigger than yours.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just open them up. And these are wooden, as you all know. What a beautiful case.
I love their cases.
Ah. Oh my goodness, look at this.
And those I think are 8s to 11s?
7.
7?
7. I think this is a 7. They wouldn't have two of the same size.
No.
So this, yes, US 7 up to, that's more than an 11, sweetie.
I can't.
17.
To a 17, wow.
So it goes up to 11. So we've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 and a half, 11, 13, 15, and 17. Just gorgeous. And then, of course, the cords are in here. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with the wooden ones. I think you will probably get my Chiaogoos.
There you go.
Okay. I'll take this as it's falling over. This is Freia Fine Hand Paint Yarns. These are Minikins. There are 9 balls in here, and each ball is 107 yards.
So you've got 1,000 yards or so.
I've got 1,000 yards, so I think there's a multicolored sweater in here.
Probably.
I think that sounds great. Let's see. This is falling out. This is Filatura de Crosa Madras in a nice net bag. God knows I love net bags. Let's see what the colors really are.
Oh, yes, because they're in a...
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, it's like a light gray.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 of the light gray and 3 of this variegated.
Lovely.
So the, let's see if we can find, the yardage is 93 yards per ball.
I thought you were handing it to me to look at something.
Oh, you can look at it.
No, it's nice. Is it cotton?
That's what I was looking. It feels like cotton. You want to look and see?
I'm hoping nothing falls over while I look.
It feels like cotton.
It is.
Okay.
It's cotton.
And it feels like it's worsted weight. So I've got roughly 600 yards in here. I don't know what I'll do with it. I think I need to mix it with something. We'll figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll take this big...
Oh, I don't know.
I don't
you have
think
to
so.
go from
That's
the front.
stuck.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. Shibui Knits. It's that top, and it's this gorgeous green teal yarn to make that. And it's called Twig. It's linen, recycled silk, and 12% wool.
Wow.
I think that might be something I want to start after my Etude.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to do is maybe work on some of the other
Summer knit.
linen and cotton that I had bought during the crawl. That is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'll put it over back there so that it's not.
This is from Berroco. This is a very chunky wool. This is Nomad in shades of gray. I wonder if you can see it by the side.
Pattern in it?
I'm not sure. It says from Berroco with compliments.
Looks like there are 2 books in there.
Just from Berroco with compliments. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skeins of Nomad. It's got 77 yards. It's wool and camel hair. And it's kind of like a gray khaki.
Yeah, it's like 500 yards. That's not bad.
Yes, 500 yards.
Like you've got 2 books
Well,
there.
hold on, I'm looking. So I've got, that's a great scarf. But they have patterns in here. Let's see, there was something called Gertrude. So it's obviously, it looks like Aran weight. So maybe I have enough for a sweater. Maybe I'll have to get some more to make it up. But Gertrude looks good.
Yeah.
Gertrude looks like a sweater I would wear. So I'm going to have to check on the, and it's made in Nomad, knit in Nomad. So that's 1 book. Let's get this back in. There is another book, and it's even bigger. Oh my goodness.
No, it's just pamphlets. It's pamphlets.
It's pamphlets. I guess the store should have saved these.
Yeah.
This was for the store.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. Yes. This was, it's pamphlets about the book.
Ah.
Yeah. She didn't open it.
It's fine.
Yeah. So that'll be nice, but very warm. So maybe something I start on in August, in order to have it ready for cooler temperatures. Richard's so upset because now that he has the freedom to be able to go on vacation different places, we can't go anywhere.
But he is really leaning into this whole sheltering in place, you know.
He is. He is.
Hermit life.
This is something called a cashmere coloring box.
Oh.
Cashmere coloring book. 6 delightful patterns to color your world in cashmere.
Ooh.
And I've got a semi-rainbow of colors of cashmere.
A nice full set of colors.
Yes. And they're multicolor patterns. So that really is a sweet kit. I'm thinking probably not the hat, but I don't know, the hat has a lot of room in it.
It does.
I don't know whether you've noticed, but my hair is up in a messy bun in the back. I bought, because I can't get to the hairdresser to cut this hair, I'm thinking maybe I'll just let it grow and put it up in the back. I made the mistake of watching Bernadette, what's her last name? Banner. And she had a show on how she puts her hair up. I was
going to say, your hair is a bit Victorian now.
Yes, kind of Edwardian is what I'm going for. Her hair is past her waist, so if she can deal with it, probably so can I. So I may just put it up. I mean, what she talked about is like you put the front part up, and that's relatively easy, and get some height. And then she said, you know, then at that point she decides whether she puts the back up or not. She says, and I said, I'm nodding my head, yes. There's all the hairs that fall out, the stray hairs. So she says, by putting it up, it keeps it in control. So, yes, I was nodding my head, yes. Somebody got me Malabrigo. We've got one skein of Malabrigo lace, 470 yards. Now, I know, what a gorgeous color.
It's very pretty.
Very pretty. This is called Buscando Azul, and certainly it is an azul. And lace. I have a couple patterns for summer sweaters that require lace, so that they will be laces all the way at the top.
Laces all the way at the top.
I have no idea what this is. This is a knitting toolkit.
Yeah, from Akerworks.
From Akerworks, yes.
You should open it up. It's really cute.
Have you seen these before?
Yes, I have.
Oh. So when I got the phone call, Richard was going, of course my wife wins. Of course. Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh my goodness. This is amazing.
Yep.
All right, so there's scissors here. There are stitch markers here. I'll have to turn the box over to find out what all of this is. There is a needle size. Oh, so these are needle sizes here that you can stick your needles in, and I'll tell you what size your needle is. That's really helpful. I've got, this is a tape measure, so that fits in here.
The top cross thing pops off, and that's a gauge
square.
Swatcher, yeah.
Then, as I said, there are these. Oh, and there's 2 embroidery needles.
Good.
There. That is a very helpful kit. I've never seen one of these before.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Well, that is very nice. Wow, that's quite a nice kit.
Yeah.
I think that's going to go in my knitting bag now.
It should.
It should. That is fantastic. There's a lanyard loophole. Oh, here. There's a hole that I can make a lanyard and actually wear this around my neck.
Or attach it to your bag so
attach it to my bag. So the pockets with the stitch markers and the needles are magnetized. Well, that's helpful, so that they're not going to fall all over your bag. What else? No, this is fantastic. Yep. Oh, I love it. That is great. Okay. Thank you, Akerworks. Wow. All right, we will put that into immediate rotation. This is Rowan. Ooh. Moordale. And there's a pattern. Oh, it's an infinity scarf, which is 7 inches deep and 67 inches long.
Well, how much yarn you got there? It looks like you've got enough. What is it?
It is.
It's wool and alpaca, and it is So it's 70% wool, 30% alpaca. And if I can just get it to tell me, it is 230 or 250 yards per skein. So
750 yards.
Yeah, you could make a scarf.
That's lovely. I could make what?
You could make something that's not a scarf.
I could, but look at this. This is Brunswick, and this is Anzula luxury fibers, Meriden lace, hand dyed in Fresno, California. What a gorgeous color. Absolutely stunning. I just can't...
What?
Well, I can't see how much. Oh, nice. They have a price on it. They have a pattern in here for a shawl. I'm not a shawl person. So that's not going to happen. This is rust. I love it. It's tencel and alpaca.
Ooh.
And there is 812 yards.
Nice.
There's something else living in here.
Yes.
So we may have to match it up with some other yarn that I have.
I'll put it over here with the other lace.
And we have this very pretty, very lacy shawl, but the shawl is not
for you.
Not for me.
But you will keep it
but
in
I
your...
will keep it in my patterns.
I felt something else. There's definitely a few more things.
Oh, yes. This is an easy scarf. Multicolored. Look at that yarn. I think that's
Nora?
a pair of socks.
It might be Nora.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, I can't tell. You very quickly showed it, so.
Well, I'm trying to
And my view is quite blocked by this basket, so.
Well, it looks like 100.
You need help.
Yes. Large stitch stoppers. These are for needles, US 9 to 15. I think I'm going to put them in my Lykke set so that you can just put these on your needles and it keeps your stitches from falling off. Very helpful. Something just went on the floor.
I think a pen.
Ah, probably. Ooh! Maker's Keep, a magnetic slap bracelet. I wonder what the magnetic slap bracelet says.
Well, maybe it's to put stitch markers on so that they don't go all over the place.
I think you're right, my dear.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure whether it was that or inches.
Oh.
I don't want to put it near my watch.
Yeah.
But
right.
yes.
Here you go.
Stitch markers, watch out.
Oh, and this is the Uneek. Oh, it's cotton. I don't know if you'll want to make socks, but it's DK weight cotton from Uneek.
Wow.
Which we got at Vogue this year.
Oh, that is gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Self-striping cotton.
That's the pink, the dark pink you have over there. The pink stripey thing. Variegated pink. Yeah.
Yeah, but I got wool.
No, I'm just...
Oh, yes. It is a maker that we know.
Yes.
And how many yards is it?
250 or so?
Yes, 275.
Okay.
DK weight. So we will figure out something with that. Oh, that may go with the blue that we got, or that.
Okay.
So those are neutrals, and that's the pop.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, Coco Knits stoppers.
So this is, no, they're both large. So I've got two of those. Maybe you want one.
I might have one.
And this is Cascade Yarns.
I think it's for one of the
Quilts. Afghans.
One of the blankets, yeah.
And this is Cascade Yarns, Knitterati, Knit Along, Gradient Lap.
Oh,
lap
it's the...
Afghan.
Ah.
Lap. It's a lap Afghan.
Yeah.
And...
it's a lot of yarn.
It's gorgeous.
It is.
It is. Oh, the 220 merino.
Mm-hmm. Superwash.
Great.
Very nice.
That is pretty. And the pattern is in it.
Nice.
And each square is a different pattern. So by the time you're getting fed up with something, you can move on to another square. That is gorgeous.
Yeah.
That would handle classes at Harry Potter Knitting and Crocheting for the entire year.
It would.
Very nice. So
but yeah.
I was amazed. Richard said, well,
Oh, yeah, it's the Coco Knits one.
Yeah.
So you can put stitch marker. Well, you don't have any metal stitch
I
markers.
do in this thing.
Right, but.
Here.
Yeah.
My stitch markers are in a tin.
Yeah, you put. It's good for if you need to mark a whole bunch of things while you're. And you just. Boop. Oh, no. No.
Nope. All right.
Well, we'll figure it out.
I think the ones that came in the Akerworks would probably.
Yeah.
Fit
there
that.
are also inches and metric on the back.
That's going to be helpful.
I don't know if you can see it. There we go.
Marked off on the back. That's going to be very helpful.
Yeah. I would have thought that this would have been.
So, it's a bonanza over here. And as Tony said, well, now you have something to do while you're supposed to be sheltering at home. And I said, not that it was a problem.
There we go.
It's fantastic. That's fantastic. But now I've had a lot of help.
Yeah.
So, I called my mom. The first day out of the yarn crawl, I had called my mom, who's in Virginia. I said, if you were here, you could go with me on this yarn crawl. And she said, what are you doing? And I explained what the yarn crawl was. And I said, I'm going to get every place I go is going to stamp my card. And I went through the fact that there was a big prize and someone was going to win it. So she was flabbergasted when I called her on Tuesday afternoon and said, guess what, Mom? I won! And then I sent her a picture of the prizes all wrapped in their cellophane.
Which is what you also posted to Instagram.
That's right. That's right. So this is all that was included. Thank you to the stores.
And to the sponsors.
Absolutely. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I did go to all the stores.
You did.
So every one of the 10 stores I got to. And bought something at almost all of them. I mean, I was on the hunt for linen and cotton. So I know that there was probably 2 stores that I didn't buy anything at, but it wasn't because I didn't try.
No.
I bought several sweater quantities worth. So
you all saw.
I am thrilled.
This is great.
Thank you it's fantastic. It's like Christmas.
It really is.
It really is. All right,
I
guys.
even got some stuff out of it.
Yes. Like
Right.
Chiaogoo.
I know.
All right, guys. We're going to wrap up this prize.
Yeah.
And none of it's going to get put away. But we'll make efforts. And hopefully by the end of the week, it'll get put away. So we have some breathing room in here. My desk is getting piled up again.
It is. But
I think I have to empty that top shelf.
Perhaps.
Yes.
Perhaps.
Yes.
Well, stay safe.
Yes.
Stay safe.
With whatever.
Wash your hands.
Yes, lots.
And
get lotion for your hands because mine are always falling apart.
Yeah, and just be kind
also,
to yourself.
Band-Aids. I've got my new skin Band-Aids on almost all the time.
And be kind to yourselves this week. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.